Hi, so I am Molly Wardlaw,
And I am Nathan McNair.
and we are Pandasaurus Games, and we have a very cool little presentation to show you guys.
Yeah, excited to, not be in person, but to, at least be able to speak to you this year and walk you through some of our hit games that have come out and show you some stuff that's coming out later on this year.
Yeah, we hear there's 110 of you guys, so let's do this. All right, to tell you guys a little bit about us, we are Pandasaurus Games. So we started in 2012. It was just the two of us up until just a couple of years ago, but starting in 2012 with our first game, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And we've expanded pretty radically since then.
Yeah, so today we're going to, we already introduced ourselves, so we can skip that part. But we're going to walk you through some of our evergreen games, some of our upcoming releases for this year, and then give you a sneak peek of some stuff coming out next year. So this is our team. Obviously, the two of us.
It's not the two of us anymore.
Yeah, it is not. We've grown a little bit. I know a couple of our team members. I know Danny for sure is in the comment section on YouTube and Discord. So if you have any questions.
And Brian actually is too. He is our sales manager. So marketing, sales, Danny and Brian.
Yep. Ooh. So let's talk about some of our evergreens.
So this is Machi Koro. You guys may be familiar with this title. It's likely you are. This is our first huge evergreen and continues just to sell tons of copies. It is a really special game. It's Japanese. It was an original import and a Spill nominee.
Yeah, so we've sold over 500,000 copies of the game. I think that number is out of date by about a year because I made this deck for Gamma back when we got to travel. Yeah, this is a game that should be on your shelf this holiday season. It's easy to recommend to families. If it has just fallen off your shelf, if you don't have it there anymore, maybe you used to, it's one that you should still be stocking this Christmas. It still continues to sell incredibly well for us. Last year, we came out with a new edition of the game, so it's got awesome plastic coins. So if it's been a few years since you've stocked it, you're going to be really pleasantly surprised by the quality increase in the box.
There's a lot of cool stuff in the box. So continuing on in the Machi family, this is the Machi expansion. So when we redid the base game Machi Koro, we also redid the expansions with some cool goodies you can see on the screen right there to upgrade different components. So this is a combination of the Harbors expansion and the Millionaire's Rope expansion. They both come in one box chock full of awesomeness. So.
Yep. So again, this is a good thing to stock alongside Machi Koro this holiday season. If people like Machi Koro, they're looking for more. So this is literally a box of more. And we also have Machi Koro Legacy, which is a legacy version of Machi Koro, if the name didn't make that clear.
Yeah, so this is Rob Davio's first family-friendly legacy game. So it is a 10-game campaign. So unlike a lot of other legacy games, this is more consumable for families. It's not going to be, a very, very long, protracted thing. Most families can play this, say, over Christmas break. So this is definitely something to keep in your mind for pretty cool Christmas gifts.
Yep, this came out last year. It's, I mentioned 10 games long. At the end of the 10th game, there's a thing we like to call it the 11th game, so you could play the game forever. It's not like a one-time through and you're done. Tom Bassel gave it the Dice Tower seal of approval and actually said that he likes the final game that you unlock together, or make together, I should say, more than he likes Machi Koro. So this is something for families looking for a legacy title. Maybe they have younger kids, something like Pandemic Legacy is not their speed yet, or they just really like Machi Koro. This is a really easy recommendation. $49.95 is a pretty competitive price for a legacy game as well.
So next up is The Mind. If you guys don't know what The Mind is, you need to go out and find out what The Mind is. The Mind really, really took the entire board gaming world by storm a couple of years ago when it was released. It is also a Spiel nominee, and this game it's Wolfgang Warsch. It is something that nobody had ever really thought of before, so it plays in a way that's completely unlike any other game.
Yeah, so again, back to the reason we're talking about these evergreens, is just to remind you, obviously it's a strange world right now, but these are safe titles to stock going into the holiday season. We've sold over 1.25 million copies of the game over the last 18, 24 months that it's been out. You could see in the bottom right corner all of the awards this has won and been nominated for. It is $12.95, really easy to pitch. I mean, it's a game with you and your friends cooperatively communicating telepathically. Obviously, it's a smash hit in the industry, but check your shelves. Make sure you've got stock going into the holiday season. It's such an easy game to recommend, and it sells so incredibly well for us, and we know it should sell well for you.
Mm-hmm. So in the other class of games you just absolutely have to have on your shelf, this is the game. So as you can see, this has sold over 1.3 million copies at this point, which is obviously a lot, but there's a reason for it. The game, another Spiel nominee, it is incredibly basic, but very, very, very strategy heavy, and it's just a really, really solid game. This is new art by Kwanchai Maria, so you guys may remember the old Bloody Skull version. This is a little bit different, definitely a lot more family friendly, and since we've changed the cover, we've sold even more units.
Yeah, and like Molly mentioned, again, 1.3 million units sold. This is a safe game to have on your shelf this holiday season. It's a safe stocking stuffer at $12.95. It is, again, it's a cooperative game. You're working together to get cards out of your hand. Sounds a little bit like the Mind we describe it, plays very differently. These are two games along with Machi Koro that absolutely should be on your store shelves this Christmas. If you are low on stock, you don't have any, we have plenty of stock of all three of these titles right now. So we kind of went over the games that are our three best sellers by far, but we wanted to take some time to highlight some of our other like mini evergreens, games that continue to sell well for us, games that should be on your radar. They're not the like you have to have it on your shelf the way that the other three are, but they're games you should consider for your shelf depending on like who your customers are. Obviously, you know better than us, but these are games that absolutely need to be on your radar because they flew a little bit under compared to the first three, but are still really high sellers.
So this is Phil Walker Harding game. This is called Phil is Sushi Go, in case you guys don't know Barron Park. So very, very smart game. This is a flip and write in which you are recording things with dry erase markers on these different island cards that you have here.
Yeah, so 1995 SRP. We've sold 80,000 units since last year when it came out. So this is a game that has sold really, really well. Molly mentioned the pedigree of the designer. Obviously, Sushi Go has been a smash hit for a while. She mentioned the dry erase. Every single card in the game is dry erasable. It has got, you can see 12 games of Christmas stocking stuffer for Dice Tower Seal of Excellence. This game's done really, really well for us, and it's something that is, again, really easy to stock, really easy to recommend as a stocking stuffer at $19.95, and is sold very, very well.
And incredibly good for families. I wanted to point out with this game, the number of people who tell us, oh, this is the game that, the only game my partner will play with me, or this is the only game my kids will play with me. That's kind of silver and gold. There's a lot of fun comboing. It just kind of gives that itch, that you want to continue playing again and again. So
yeah. Next up, we've got Illusion. Again, this is in that stocking stuffer card game line that we have that's really easy to recommend. We've sold more than 20,000 units of it. That's definitely outdated. This was, again, made 6 months ago, and I should have checked the numbers on this before I had the presentation.
It's really closer to 60,000. So
yeah, but the way I like to describe this, if you're familiar with timelines, this is timelines, except instead of historical events, it's optical illusion. So you have to arrange cards based on how much red is in them and increasing value. So it's kind of like the gold blue dress thing from I don't even know, it was 3 years ago now, but the game. So it's just really fun optical illusions. It's got a party game feel to it. It's really family friendly. Anyone can play it. The backs of the cards, when you flip them over, it tells you how much of each color there was on it. So that's how you score the game, but really, really simple. Super easy to recommend if somebody's looking for something really unique, because there's not really another game out there that deals with optical illusions like this.
Also great too for anybody that really likes the Mine. This is the same designer. It was one of his hits to come out immediately afterwards.
Yep. So then we have Quinto. Quinto is the new sensation from Quicks. So it's from the same studio that made Quicks, which is a game that I think most people are familiar with. Really, really, really simple game to teach. You just roll 3 dice. Everyone's always active. If it's your turn, you have to write down a number. If it's not your turn, you can. So there's never any downtime. Really short, really snappy playtime. $14.95 SRP. Just again, an easy game to recommend, an easy game to sell. I know that actual LOL calls it his favorite roll and write game. So it's doing really well for him. And I think a secret password just popped up. So look for that.
Or it's lunchtime. It's not lunchtime. Okay. So next up is Dinosaur Island. A lot of you are probably familiar with Dinosaur Island, but we have some cool things to talk about. So of course, Dinosaur Island is the board game in which you are making your own dinosaur theme park, and guests are getting out and they're probably being murdered, but there's lots of colorful fun dinosaurs.
Well, no one's murdered. Just dinosaurs eat them. And I don't think you can call that's not murder. No, there's no intent there. They're hungry.
Let Danny and Brian know what your thoughts are. Is this murder?
I don't think it is. I think they're just animals. Nature's finding a way.
We're gonna do a poll.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool things about Dinosaur Island. I thought there was an amazing murder joke coming out right now, but no. All right.
Nope.
So Dinosaur Island.
I'm all done with
the
jokes.
cool things about Dinosaur Island is that we did just recently do a big SRP drop. It went from $80 to $60, and the reason for that is that we got new pricing from the factory, and we've always wanted to make it at an SRP that was way more affordable for families, and we're so happy that we made it there.
Yeah.
And
what I was gonna say is, like, this is a top 125 game on Board Game Geek. This has been a stalwart seller for us. The 30,000 units sold is, again, we're closer to 40,000 now. It continues to be a game on everyone's mind. Obviously, we have a Kickstarter live right now for a standalone sequel. We'll talk more about that later. But the world is still one that gamers are engaged in. There's a lot of demand for it. I think the old price point held it back. But if you've got gamers that they like Wingspan, they like Root, they like Scythe, and they're looking for something else in that weight class, as sort of that mid-weight plus, like, I've been playing games for a year, I'm looking for something that's a bit more of a next step from those early kind of gateway games, this is such an easy recommendation. Like I said, top 125 game, Dice Tower Seal of Excellence. You can see it was nominated for tons of awards. Just a fantastic game. I know Molly has some exciting news.
we do. So the other thing, in addition to the SRP drop, is that we do have a new edition of Dinosaur Island coming out. This is the first time we've literally talked about this publicly to anybody, I want to say.
So don't tell anybody what we're about to tell you.
But feel special. With this new version of Dinosaur Island, this is coming out, we're hoping in late October is what I want to say. It's on a boat right now, but we are adding, because the people have demanded that we have more exciting dino meeples in the base retail version of this game, and we are adding 2. So that is for a total of 3 really awesome, fun dinosaur meeple shapes that are going to come in every single box of the $60 SRP version of Dinosaur Island.
So we've got 2 brand new meeple shapes, which is a Velociraptor and a new T-Rex design. And so now when players play it, they've got at least an herbivore, a small carnivore, and a large carnivore as a stand-in for all the cool dinos they're making. So really exciting news.
We give the people what they want.
Real fast, we are limited on time, and we want to talk to you about new games. But these are other games that should stay on your radar. They came out last year, except for Totally Liquid, which came out the year before that, I think. Still games that sell really well for us. You can see they've all got Dice Tower sealed approvals. These are games that, if they fit a need that your store has, is a really good one to just check out our website, PandasaursGames.com, talk to your Alliance sales rep. They can tell you about these games, but they're all phenomenal. I just want to keep them on your mind, but I need to stop talking because I put them all on one slide to save time, which I'm not doing anymore. New releases for this year.
So this is the Mind Extreme. So we obviously told you about the Mind. We told you about the sales and how excited people are. They are rabidly. There are a lot of rabidly fans about the Mind. So anyways, this is the extreme version. So this is everything that you like about the Mind. The Mind can be frustrating and crazy, but you love it. And this really ups the ante for all of those things.
Yep. So, Mind Extreme, instead of, if you play the Mind, you have 1 pile of cards, they go up. You can't talk. You got to play the cards in order by telepathically linking with your friends. This time around, because that's too simple, there's 2 decks of cards. One goes up, one goes down. You got to play on them simultaneously. Sometimes you got to play cards upside down, so you don't even know if you did it right until after you check it. So it's a really, it makes the game
most importantly harder. There are different rounds you play blind, which you forgot, which that's the thing that makes this extreme.
Yep.
Should we say?
So this is a game that came out earlier this spring. We printed 15,000 units of it, thought we had enough stock to get us over the summer, and y'all all bought it right away. So it's been out of stock. It is back in stock this month. In fact, I think it's back in stock now. our production manager is going to scream at me if that's not true, but I believe that it has hit our warehouse. So I think that you can actually get this one. If not right now, you can get it really fast because Alliance is our home-based warehouse. So that's the first people to get it in stock.
Yeah, stock up.
So Godspeed. This is a game that came out kind of late May, early June. There's going to be an Origins release, but obviously there's no Origins this year. $59.95 SRP. This is a nice kind of gamer, midweight gamers game. It's got worker placement. It's got blind bidding. What makes Godspeed super cool is every worker is unique. So if you want to take a specific action, you have to save that worker back, but other people can still block you like you can in most worker placement games. And all your workers are dual use, so you have to decide, like, well, do I want to use my worker now to procure goods? So it's got some stuff that feels a little bit like programmed actions because you're trying to think ahead. Gorgeous art, fantastic gameplay, $59.95 SRP. Like I said, if you're looking for something new for gamers that like games like Root, that like games like Scythe, this is something that's right in that same weight class. Obviously, if Terraforming Mars has been something that they like and enjoy thematically, this is set in space and kind of an alternate 60s space race.
Also very well reviewed. I think we didn't have a chance to stick some of those guys at the bottom there, but yeah, the
Dice Tower seal of approval. Yep, got a really, really solid playthrough from them. So yeah, just a great game.
So next up is Sonora. Sonora is a really, really fun little game. Nathan's going to grab this box really quick. So this is what we're calling the world's first flick and write game. So the way I like to describe it is it's crokinole meets the roll and write genre. So if you guys have ever played crokinole, if you know what crokinole is, there's a lot of flicking, hitting other people's disc, pushing it out of their quadrant. So in the game, you are trying to go in around flicking disc into the quadrant that you want it to end up in. The quadrants that you can see on the board that's showed right here, everybody has their individual player boards. So you want to flick it into the quadrant in which you also want to score through the player board. So that's basically how it works.
Yep. But of course, other players might not want you to be there. So you're hitting your disc where you want your disc to go, and then you're hitting your buddy's disc out of where they wanted their disc to go. So it's got like a really fun dexterity element. The roll and write element is really fun too. It's got kind of that gone shown clever, like, oh, I got this and I get a bonus. So now I get to go over here and like write something here. And now I get to come over here. So you get these chain combos that feel really good. $20.95 SRP. The really price point is really easy to recommend as a Christmas present. The game is super simple. It's not difficult. It's no more difficult than Gone Shown Clever. Elevator pitch is obviously really fantastic. You just turn it around, show someone the box, and like, look at what you get in this box for $29.95.
We have had a ton of incredible press coverage for this guy as well. Just look it up all over Board Game Geek. People really, really loved it. Additionally, this sold out almost immediately, and we have more. So it's never a better time. This is a great Christmas present. So just keep that in mind.
This is, if you've got a family looking for something unique that they can play together. Obviously, it's kind of a weird year, but this is a game that you can play easily with your family. It's really novel. It's not like anything else they have, which makes it a really easy sell. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, this is, it's kind of like Gone Shown Clever, but you don't get to flick things in Gone Shown Clever.
And we have an all-new rule book for this one as well.
Next up is Control. Control is, and I've got a box, the world's first three-dimensional area control game. $24.95, comes with a ton of plastic. In the game, you're just placing your cubes on one of the sides, kind of in a line. I won't teach you how to play the game. But at the end of the game, you're going to look and see which blocks of yours are visible from all four sides and the top down. So whenever you're doing a placement or you're covering up one of your friend's blocks, it makes you think three-dimensionally the entire time. So it's a really good game. Got the Dice Tower seal of approval. Sales have been really strong for us. The $24.95 price point, again, the toy factor here is really high. The table presence is phenomenal. You can see in the picture all of the plastic that comes in this box for a pretty competitive price at $25. And it's a game that's been selling well. It's been reviewing well. There's an incredible live playthrough that the Dice Tower did that's just phenomenal that you could check out, show to gamers to give them a feel. But again, kind of like Sonora, this is not a game that you could say like, oh, this is just like this other game. Like, there's nothing else on the market that's anything like it.
Perfect family game too. All right, so this is Tammany Hall. So I kind of mentioned our first game at the beginning
Just
of
covering
this.
my
This
face
is,
with it for some reason.
near and dear to our hearts because, fun fact, Tammany Hall is Pandasaurus' very, very, very first released in 2012. It's what made us into the company that we are today.
Yep, and this came out, I want to say 2 weeks ago, September 16th. So hopefully you got stock of it. We definitely underprinted the game because we were like, well, it's a reprint. Who knows how much demand will be? Demand was very high. We have more coming. We'll have more for Christmas. So don't worry about it. This is one of the best games we've ever published. The new edition is phenomenal. If you remember the old one where it has like the discs and you have to put like stickers on them, no more. They're like heat transfer discs now on all of them. So they look great. All new rulebook. Tom Vassell called it the best rulebook he's ever seen. So congrats to Steve-O, our graphic designer, for fantastic work there. $49.95 SRP. This is like one of the nastiest area control, negotiate with your friends, make alliances, break them, like diplomacy, but it's not like 7 hours long is kind of how I would pitch this. Really fun game. Great kind of player interaction, just a ton of fun.
All right. So next up here, we have Gods Love Dinosaurs. And I'm going to grab this mega giant beautiful box right here. So this is I would say gateway to midway level strategy game by Casper Lopp, who did Magic Maze. And it is about the food chain plus dinosaurs, who are, of course, at the very top of the food chain, because who wouldn't be?
Yeah, so Molly mentioned this is kind of gateway plus. So if you think Azul, that's about where this game falls on the weight class. You can see, and I'm going to grab these like amazing meeples. I'm going to hold them up to the camera just so you can kind of, please be in focus. But we've got these really cute bunnies and some eagles, and of course there's a dinosaur in it because it's on the name. And in Gods Love Dinosaurs, what you're doing is you're drafting these kind of domino-like pieces and laying them into a biome, and different animals like different things. So like frogs like water, rats like the forest, bunnies like the field, and you're trying to like grow and spread these animals at the bottom of the food chain. And then you've got some tigers and eagles, and they like to eat your bottom of the food chain. Cute guys. That's what they do. It's not a murder. We've already discussed this with dinosaurs. They're just doing what animals do. And then you have the top of the food chain, which is historically accurate, the dinosaur that looks to eat eagles and tigers. You can tell the theme is a little irreverent. And what you're trying to do is make sure that you don't collapse any part of your ecosystem, because you get points when the dinosaur eats, basically. And so you have to like build this biome that's supported top to bottom, because if you ever just collapse the middle or the bottom of your food chain, like there's nothing for the dinosaur to eat and they will go extinct, which you don't want because you love your dinosaurs.
So this is a very, very special game. This is our big Essen, was going to be our big Essen release,
Yep.
And then Essen didn't happen. But this is a circled release for us, and the gameplay is just special. It's one of my favorite games we've done this year.
Yeah, $39.95 SRP. This is out in October, so this is one that you should talk to your sales reps now, because it's something you should be placing your orders for now, because we do have some. It is going to sell out. We have more coming on a boat 2 weeks later, and we've got more coming on a boat about 6 weeks after that. Pre-orders have been really strong. This is absolutely a game to pay attention to.
And again, with competitive SRP, and that's a rule at Pandasaurus. We've been focusing on trying to make things that are more affordable, especially with everything going on right now, but we want people to walk into your store and be able to pick up a Pandasaurus product and not only take it home for a reasonable price, but also know it's incredibly high quality.
Yep. So, lastly, I know I flip back and forth between slides. I promised I wouldn't do that to myself, and I broke all the rules. We've got some new stocking stuffers that are kind of in that line of all those card games we talked about at the beginning.
So this is Robots, which you guys can also see obviously better in the thing in front of us. But this is a really special little NSVA game. So this is a German game. It was nominated for the Kinderspiel des Jahres. This is our first true children's game,
Yep.
which is exciting for us.
And it's been getting good reviews. Board Game Geek has given it a really solid review. It is $14.95. Molly mentioned Kinderspiel nominee, so it is a children's game. The best way to describe it, it's like the Mind for kids with none of the math. And so kids are like, you have to learn to communicate without talking by guessing how far a robot would move over a period of time. So if you've got people looking for something, obviously it's it's a Kinderspiel nominee. It's a great kids game. It's something you could easily play with your family. It's just a phenomenal title. This is out October as well. And like, if you've got people who like playing the Mind with their friends or their game groups, and they've got young children, this is an easy recommendation for them, because it's just like literally the Mind, but for kids. And instead of a bunny, it's got this robot who's skateboarding, which is what robots like to do.
All right, so next up is Ohanami, this little guy right here. So this is another one of our special little imports. So Ohanami is a drafting ladder climbing game. It's incredibly elegant. As you can see right here, I can pull out some of these cards. It's very beautiful.
Yep. So yeah, Molly mentioned it's a drafting game. So you're going around drafting cards, trying to build sets, trying to make the best Japanese garden you can. It's getting really phenomenal reviews already. It's a phenomenal game. It is out this October, $14.95. It's something that you should be stocking for anyone who likes these card games. It is an absolute guaranteed seller this Christmas. It is such a good game.
One last note on Ohanami is this is done very, very well in Europe already. So, and it's our first releasing in America. So we have a lot of good hope for this one.
Yeah, sales in Europe and have been really phenomenal this year. And it's honestly a game we should have put out last year, but we didn't because we were focused on other titles. And we kind of French partners like, this game sells better than these other games for us. Why aren't you printing it? We're like, we are going to do that now. So,
and the interest has been so much on this game that we may have to do a reprint soon. So make sure to snag this guy up.
Yep. The last new game to talk about this year is the game Quick and Easy, $14.95 SRP. It is, don't let the name fool you. It is a slightly easier version of the game to learn to play, but it actually plays completely differently. All new artwork. In it, instead of real fast, you play the game, instead of cards going 1 to 100 in one suit, there are 5 suits that go 1 to 10. The little jump back rule about like you can go back or forward 10 card difference, that's gone. It kind of just takes the rules from Uno where you can always match a color. So you have to go up, you have to ascend or descend depending on the pile you're playing on, or you can always play a matching color.
A very quick note on the game, the way Quick and Easy is that while this is said to be a kid's game, it is very much a game that gamers love too. BGG Game Night played it and they had an absolute blast. I think they liked it more than the game. So
yeah, so those are all the new titles coming out this year. So obviously Sonora, Control, these are new games that are coming out. You want to make sure the Mind, Machikoro, and the game are stocked. And then our new games that are coming out in October are the game Quick and Easy, Ohanami, Robots, and Gods Love Dinosaurs. So if you haven't placed orders for those 4 new games yet, you should. If you're out of stock on anything else, talk to your sales rep, make sure that you're topped up on those evergreens because they're going to be sellers. And I think we did promise to show off some games that aren't out yet, and we've got about a minute and a half, so you're going to get some real short peeks behind the curtain. That's embarrassing. I don't know why I made that slide. I'm sorry,
I like
everybody.
it. I like it.
It's fine. All right.
We'll take a poll on that.
So first up, these are on Kickstarter right now. These are going to come out right around Gen Con next year, which is Dinosaur World and Dinosaur Island Rar and Right. So obviously Rar and Right is a roll and write with a bad pun for a name. Version of Dinosaur Island. It's going to be a $30 SRP. And then Dinosaur World is a big box sequel to Dinosaur Island. It is a standalone. It is not an expansion, so it is its own game.
It's a beautiful, beautiful table hog. So buzz on both of these guys are already through the roof. We've been on the hotness several times, and keep an eye on this.
Yeah, that'll be summer next year. And this isn't really sneak peek because these games are announced, but these 2 are brand new. This is Brew. It is a dice as worker placement game that is gorgeous, looks phenomenal. We'll have more information in the spring. And Umbravia, which is a Cardboard Edison Award winner, which will also be out this spring, which is really, really neat.
So to close up in our last 15 seconds, we just wanted to thank you guys so much for being just really, really valued and passionate customers. Yep. Thank every single one of you for being there. All 110 of you, I want to say. It means the world to us, and it really, really is why you guys, FLGS, are the backbone of this entire industry and the backbone of Pandasaurus.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. I know we've had people in the comments section, but if you have any questions, now I know that we're about to do the stuff. Hit our Discord channel. Come hang out with us. Molly and I will be in there as soon as this call is over. I'm sure we already got team members that are in there now, but feel free to talk to us.
And any questions we want to hear from you, contact us or Brian. It's Brian at Pandasaurus Games is our sales contact.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.